Namaste. My name is Henry Jadikar. I'm a French-Canadian psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, and my special field of interest and study is brainwashing and mind control by cults. Over the last few weeks, I have made several videos talking about the spiritual teacher called Mooji. I was simply asking questions about the rumors that are on the internet. And a few days after posting those videos, I received communications from his lawyers that I could not say what I was saying. I could not ask the questions that I was asking. And they told me that if I did not take the video down, they would take legal actions. So I took the video down. I'm not going to go over again in this video about what I think about Mooji's activities. What I'm going to say is this. I really love the teaching of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. I have made a 20-hour documentary on the life and teaching of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi with the help of the great scholar and devotee of Ramana Maharshi, Mr. David GODMAN. And this documentary can be found on the YouTube channel of Mr. David GODMAN. People ask me, why are you so passionate about defending the name of Ramana Maharshi? Well, the story goes like this. In 1993 or so, I was looking all around the world in all kinds of literature, the best way to die, because my beloved wife, Beatrice Nihenson, that you see here, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And she really wanted a very spiritual death. So I came upon the teaching of Ramana Maharshi, where he used a technique to help his devotees at the very end of their life. He used that technique even on his own mother, which was simply to put one hand on the heart and one hand on the top of the head. So to bring the energy up, or to bring the energy in the heart. I did not know exactly how the technique worked, but we decided as a family to use the technique of Ramana Maharshi and use various pictures of Ramana Maharshi and call upon the name of Ramana Maharshi during the death process. The death process was about 7 days. And for 7 days, 24 hours a day, one of us had a hand on her heart and the top of her head, calling upon the grace of Ramana Maharshi. At the very last minute, I was the one who had a hand on her heart, a hand on the top of her head, and the very last few seconds, she had a great smile. And the Sahasrara did open up without piercing the skin. A very miraculous type of death. And she kept that smile for the 3 days that we kept the body. So I went to India and paid my respect to Ramana Maharshi, and he has been in my life. I have great love and respect for this great sage. He is, for me, one of the greatest saints that India has produced. So when I see people going around saying that they represent Ramana Maharshi, I look very closely at what they do and how they present themselves. One thing I have learned from Mr. David GODMAN is that there's no such thing as a Ramana Maharshi lineage. He never authorized anyone to say, I am now the representative of Ramana Maharshi. For those that know the life of Ramana Maharshi, we know that he had a spontaneous awakening at 16 years old. And you cannot reproduce this awakening. You cannot pass it on. It was unique to him. So all the satsang teachers around the world that sit in big chairs with pictures of Ramana Maharshi by the side of their chair as a sort of publicity. Look, I'm representing this man. We have to be very careful who they are and what are their activities. In the videos that I have made in the last few weeks, I was just asking questions because Mooji has millions of viewers on YouTube. I wanted to know more deeply, who is this man? Is he a realized soul? For the Bhagavad Gita says that the self-realized master can show you the truth because he is experiencing the truth. He is self-realized. Is Mooji a self-realized person? Or is he like hundreds of spiritual teachers that go around the world giving satsang, simply someone that has learned the Advaita philosophy pretty good and can say, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the witness. And from there, answer hundreds of questions on every subject matter. One thing I have learned with Mr. David GODMAN is that there is very few people that have realized the self. Ramana Maharshi never said that this one or that one had realized the self until they were dead, including his own mother and including Papaji. So are we dealing here with someone who is very good at language after giving thousands of darshan? Or are we dealing with a true realized master? This is all the questions really that I want to ask. So this morning I was listening to a video that Ken Wilber has done, and I thought it was very, very intelligent on his part to talk about cleaning up one's life as you wake up to spirituality. So I'm gonna put an extract of this talk. I'm going to put a link under this video to his complete video. And this is not to address Mooji. It could be Mooji, it could be Gangaji, it could be Nityananda, it could be 1001 guru going around the world claiming that they can lead people to enlightenment. So I think that Ken Wilber has something very, very intelligent to say here, and I encourage you to listen the complete video. Thank you very much.
This is a huge discovery that we made only about a decade ago, that waking up and growing up are essentially different. Now, yes, in certain ways they interact. Of course, everything interacts with everything. But they can be separated, and they tend to run on different tracks. And if you look at it, there are actually different types of practices that you do when you are trying to wake up versus when you're trying to grow up. They're not the same. Practicing this won't automatically increase this. And practicing this won't automatically increase this. And so that's what's so important. The crucial item, as I see it, is that today, for the first time, literally the first time in history, we have a chance to put together waking up and growing up and cleaning up all in one package. And we should start to say, to help everybody realize, if you're going to join a path and it doesn't include something on all three of those, you're going to get fucked. You are going to end up in a bad, bad way, because one of these is going to go sour. Yeah. Because you're completely unaware of it, and it's going to be operating in the nasty way that it does, and at some point, it's going to bite you. And you're going to be extremely unhappy. And as you know, that incredibly common. You have people that are fairly well spiritually, evolved. And then they get into financial, sexual, power screw-ups because they're at a fairly low level of growing up. If somebody's at a world-centric universal care or world-centric stage, they are not going to morally infringe on a student. It's impossible from that stage. That stage categorically hates that kind of behavior. But we don't train for that stage in spiritual practice. We train only for how to transcend the individual self. We don't train for, how do you actually help grow that individual self? Even though you're going to transcend it, and you're going to realize a reality of ultimate oneness, you still have to express that oneness through whatever self you have. And if your self is at a low egocentric stage of development, and if you have a massive shadow element, and you try to express an otherwise authentic enlightenment, it's going to be a disaster. You're going to make it sound ridiculous. You're going to act ridiculous. And every follower who comes within 10 feet of you is going to say, well, if that's enlightenment, I'll take less of that, thank you very much.
Yeah, either they're going to say that, or they're going to hang on for years saying, well, I don't understand it, and this guy seems crazy, but he seems so bright and so amazing, and he's got such darshan, and I better not leave, or I'm going to blow it, and then people, 20 years later think, oh my God, how could I have been so gullible?
You're exactly right. That is probably the major unfortunate path that the majority of people end up taking, and they end up wasting a life.
Yeah.